Breakups are tough, even if you were the one who did the breaking. The end of a romantic relationship is emotionally taxing, and everyone copes with heartbreak differently. While some people bounce back quickly, others struggle to move on. But what if there's more to the heartache than just sadness? What if there are deeper psychological forces at play? Today, we'll explore the darker side of heartbreak, revealing 7 hidden truths about this universal experience. Before we begin, we would appreciate your support. Give this video a thumbs up to receive more insightful mental health content. No. 1. The pain is real, not metaphorical. When you experience a significant loss, such as the death of a loved one, you might cry and feel devastated. But when you go through a breakup, society often tells you to pull yourself together and move on. The phrase breakup itself implies that the event is temporary and that you'll eventually get over it. Consequently, you may downplay the intensity of your emotions, believing that you shouldn't feel so heartbroken over something that's meant to be temporary. However, the truth is that your emotional and physical pain is very real. You might experience a sharp, stabbing sensation in your chest that intensifies when you think about your ex. These feelings are not merely sadness or a passing phase. Instead, they are manifestations of your body's and brain's response to loss, indicating that the pain you're feeling is valid and deserves attention. No. 2. Your body is in a state of psychological shock. After a breakup, you might feel as if you're living in a fog or a dream. Days seem blurry and you can't recall what you did. This isn't just a coping mechanism or a way to numb the pain. It's a trauma response known as psychological shock. This phenomenon occurs when your body encounters a significant threat or a sudden, unexpected change. In the case of a breakup, the loss of your partner, whether due to death, separation, or divorce, can be psychologically jarring. Your body reacts by releasing stress hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline into your bloodstream. These hormones trigger a range of physical symptoms, including difficulty sleeping, loss of appetite, fatigue, and constant anxiety. Initially, this response is helpful as it helps you cope with the immediate aftermath of the loss. But if it persists for an extended period, it can disrupt your daily functioning. The key to overcoming this phase is to prioritize self-care by eating nutritious meals, getting enough rest, and practicing relaxation techniques to manage your stress levels. No. 3. This isn't just sadness. It can be a genuine depression. Following a breakup, you might experience a deep and persistent sadness that seems to consume your thoughts and emotions. However, it's essential to distinguish between typical grief and clinical depression. While grief is a natural reaction to loss, depression is a mood disorder that can significantly impact your daily life. To help you understand the difference, here's a table comparing the symptoms of both emotions. As you can see, grief tends to come in waves, allowing for moments of calm and clarity, while depression creates a persistent fog that clouds your judgment and saps your energy. It's important to note that while most people recover from the intense sadness after a breakup, approximately 1 in 5 individuals may develop a major depressive episode. Therefore, it's crucial to pay attention to these symptoms and seek professional help if necessary. Number 4, your brain is experiencing addiction withdrawal. Love can be addictive, but when relationships end, the withdrawal symptoms can be intense. A study conducted at New York's Stony Brook University found that the brains of people in love display increased activity in areas associated with addiction, indicating that being in love can trigger similar responses in the brain as drug addiction. This means that when relationships end, your brain experiences withdrawal symptoms, causing you to constantly crave your ex's presence. This intense longing can drive you to engage in behaviors that you might not normally participate in, such as stalking their social media accounts or repeatedly texting them in hopes of reconciliation. To overcome this, you need to create distance between yourself and your ex, whether physically or emotionally, to allow your brain's reward pathways to reset. This might be challenging, but it's essential for your well-being and long-term happiness. No. 5. The breakup is triggering every old wound you have. similar to how a pebble dropped in a pond creates ripples that extend outward. A breakup can trigger a cascade of emotions and memories. Psychologists refer to this as the psychological snowball effect. When you experience the pain of a recent breakup, it can unlock dormant emotions related to past hurts and rejections, making you feel overwhelmed with a sense of abandonment. You might find yourself replaying past experiences, such as childhood neglect or a previous failed relationship, all while grappling with the present loss. This can intensify your grief and leave you questioning your worthiness of love and belonging. However, by acknowledging and exploring these past hurts, you can begin the healing process and break free from the cycle of repeating destructive relationship patterns. No! It is a direct assault on your identity. Our sense of identity is profoundly affected by our relationships. When we enter a committed relationship, we naturally adapt to our partner's presence, creating a shared reality that shapes our sense of self. For instance, you might refer to yourself as we instead of I and base many of your decisions on your partner as preferences. However, when the relationship ends, this aspect of your identity gets abruptly taken away without the daily interactions and shared experiences that defined your partnership. You might feel lost and uncertain about who you are outside of the relationship. This feeling of uncertainty is not uncommon and can manifest as a lack of motivation, changes in eating or sleeping habits, or even neglecting personal hygiene. But it is essential to remember that these feelings are temporary, and that you'll eventually rebuild a new sense of identity that encompasses your experiences within and beyond the relationship. Number 7. Your healing is dictated by your attachment style. Our attachment style plays a crucial role in shaping our romantic relationships and influencing how we cope with their breakdown. Attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth, proposes that our early experiences with caregivers shape our attachment styles, which in turn affect our beliefs about love and relationships later in life. There are 3 primary attachment styles: secure, anxious, and avoidant. People with a secure attachment style tend to have a positive view of themselves and others, making them more likely to trust and rely on their partners. They also feel comfortable expressing their emotions and are better equipped to handle conflicts constructively. However, when relationships end, even those with a secure attachment style experience grief and sadness. On the other hand, those with an anxious attachment style often struggle with feelings of abandonment and rejection. When faced with a breakup, they may become overly attached to their partners, seeking constant reassurance and sometimes becoming overly critical. Conversely, people with an avoidant attachment style tend to suppress their emotions.